Hey, Cross of Life. Pastor Caleb here with the ninth and last of our Common Church Conflicts and Resolutions video for this week. The last conflict or common church problem that we're going against is I need a break from church. I need a break from church. I've definitely heard this one. And I guess on the one hand, it's easy for me to be really skeptical of that. Because what people often mean when they say they need a break from church is they need a break from the specific organization or group of people that they call their church. But what happens is very often a break from Jesus. Like they'll tell themselves that they're going to go home and read their Bible. They tell themselves that they're going to listen to Christian music. They tell themselves that they're going to pray regularly. And even if they do those things, they're still taking a break from Jesus, because Jesus says part of being a Christian is being in a Christian community. But even sometimes those things don't happen. And so I get really frustrated by this because I see the danger in it. And yet at the same time, I want to be sensitive to it because I know it's hard. There has not been a year that has gone by yet in my 5 years of being a pastor here at our congregation, or in my 2 years of being a pastor in my previous position, where I have not thought, I really want to leave. I've thought that. And that's not to make you feel bad. A lot of times it has nothing to do with you, probably. It's probably somebody else's problem. But it happens. Being part of a Christian church is hard. And I want you to know how sympathetic I am to that. But just because I feel bad for you doesn't mean I'm not going to tell you the truth. You don't need a break from church. Oftentimes you need to repent. And that sounds counterintuitive, and I would agree with you unless it's what Jesus said, which it is. Luke 13, Jesus is talking to his disciples, and his disciples are talking about how bad things happen to people, and it just seems unfair that bad things happen to people, right? And Jesus' answer to them is, you should repent. And you're like, non sequitur, Jesus? We weren't talking about me. We were talking about other people. And Jesus says, no, you need to repent. And I think there's something in that for us too when we start to think about the problems of our church. More often than not, if we have a problem with somebody in our church, it's because they're attacking our true God. Maybe it's a God of comfort where we want to feel like we belong, or feel like we never really have to change, feel like we can just be ourselves and everybody will just accept us. And when somebody in our church calls us out, that's uncomfortable. And it attacks our God of comfort. And so we get angry and say, I need a break from church. That's not really what we need. We need to repent of our idol. Or maybe it's the idol of focus. People care about you. Focus on you. And if people don't seem to care about you, you say, I'm going to leave this church. Why? Because they attacked your idol. They attacked your idol of needing to be the center of attention, or at least on somebody's radar. And you can go down the list with all sorts of different things that we really actually care about, much more than we care about Jesus. And when those things are offended or those things are attacked by other people in a church community, we can start to blame it on Jesus, even though it's really not about him. It's about that idol. It's about you. You need to repent. Now, not every situation is like that. And there are definitely some really terrible things that happen in churches, and we need to be honest about that. And those might be reasons for you to leave a church, for churches to split. And those are all legitimate things. But in the vast majority of cases, it's honestly something about us. And maybe I can finish this with just a personal example. A lot of times when I felt like I should just leave, it's because of one or two reasons. It's either no one's listening to me, or I'm not getting the results that I think I should be getting. And oftentimes those things go hand in hand. And it's not because objectively the majority of people aren't listening to me. And it's not because success is measured in numbers. Those things are lies. And yet they're my idols. And I worship them. And I need to repent. And when I can repent of those things, I come back to a group of people who I also know are repenting of their issues. And I love the fact that God has called us all together under his grace. That we're not here to prove anything to one another, that we're not here to be some well-oiled machine that's going to accomplish everything and be, building an empire of success as a church. We're just here because Jesus is here, his word is being preached, his sacrament is being administered, and we're enjoying that grace. Like I said on Sunday, it's interesting that the primary picture of what a pastor does is like a shepherd. Pastor is literally the Latin word for shepherd. What do shepherds do? They just make sure the sheep don't die. And what do the sheep do? Basically nothing. And that's the gospel. Like if you're a sheep, if you're a member of this congregation, you're under my care as a shepherd. We're just here to enjoy the gospel together. And I'm just here to make sure you keep getting fed with it. And Jesus will take care of the rest. So let's keep repenting, realizing that our sinful nature is the problem and Jesus is the solution. And that'll give us the humility, I think, to be able to deal with many of the church conflicts that we come into contact with. Hopefully that helps. Thanks if you watched all the videos in this series for your time and your attention, and I look forward to seeing you soon.